Cool. Hello and welcome back to Liner Notes. Yes, the series taking you into the magical, mysterious world of Signature Brew and our wonderful beers on the roster. We're here, we're back, we're taking you into the beers and we're going to talk about the recipes, we'll talk about the designs, we'll talk about the inspiration behind them and some of the wonderful things that go on inside those beautiful cans.
In many ways, we never went away. If you've just watched the first Liner Notes video just now, it doesn't matter that when they were made, they're all made together at the same time.
Yeah, we did go away a bit, but we spent the entire time writing this Liner Notes, so expect big things.
This is the feature length one. It's 90 minutes. The Crowdsurfer. Hello, I'm Sam, this is Tom, we're the founders of Signature Brew.
And we're on a mission to unite people through the power of incredible beer, amazing music and unforgettable experiences. And this is your little window into that world.
Yeah, we're excited to chat to you about the beer today, which is called Crowdsurfer. Bam. It's a West Coast IPA, and we're going to talk a little bit about the history of this beer, the design, and of course the history of crowdsurfing. Don't know about you guys, but I did a little bit of research on crowdsurfing, and Peter Gabriel was one of the first people to ever do it on video. Also, maybe it was Bruce Springsteen. Then Peter Gabriel also said it was actually sweaty legend Iggy Pop that did it before him, but Peter Gabriel did the crucifix thing like this. He was the first one to do that. He claims.
Going into the nuts and bolts of crowdsurfing, I would expect Iggy Pop to be too slippery, but must stay up there. But he's light.
That's what happened to me. When, it wasn't to do with my weight when I tried to crowdsurf, because I was too slippery.
Okay, that's the key problem. Personally, I've never crowdsurfed. My significant chassis is sort of making me crowdsurfer adjacent. I'm more like to be crowdsurfed than be a crowdsurfer.
I've definitely been at gigs before where people are like, they do the thing where they're like, and then you like help them up and then they go crowdsurfing. But I've definitely also seen people where they go, and then everyone looks around and goes, no,
not you. This is not your time.
I've seen bands do it where they like get taken out to the back and then get around and brought back to the stage. I don't know, how do they steer?
It's a rudder.
Yeah. I think Shikari did it. I think it was Rory did it in like a dinghy, like an inflatable dinghy.
I think Rory's got multiple crowd surfs up his sleeve. I've seen him crowd surf on his guitar and then flip from his guitar into the crowd.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about crowdsurfing is just like it's the only place you're going to get something like that is at a live gig, a live event. So
yeah, it's really hard watching a gig over Zoom to crowd surf.
I'm just going to segue into the beer now. Segue into the beer. This beer is called Segway.
We need to get some footage of you guys on segways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, before we get into the nittiest of grit, let's crack the beers open.
Let's do it. Double pour.
Double.
That looks quite nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty good. Have a little taste. That is a hoppy boy. I think this beer signifies the return of IBUs, the International Bitterness Units.
What is the International Bitterness Unit? How does that work?
It's a scale from 0 to 100 that measures like 100's the maximum amount of bitterness a human can taste. It's true.
It is sort of a Scoville thing, isn't it? With hot sauce almost, but just.
Well, Scoville's is based on like the dilution.
You're wondering what IBUs are? Well, that stands for International Bitterness Units. This is a scale to measure the bitterness of beers. And the reason it's called International Bitterness Units is because it was developed on the International Space Station.
This one's 80 IBUs. Bitterness is back.
There's such a huge amount of hops in there, both with the bittering charge, but more so the whirlpool and the dry hop, that it's kind of carrying that bitterness and the strength as well. So I don't think it tastes actually overly bitter. Big
balanced.
aroma and the flavour are sort of hitting that as well.
Do you remember the bitterness wars of the late 2000s?
It got better.
It got very bitter. There's definitely been a trend in beer for the last sort of 5 to 10 years where the bitterness has gone down and down, where you've got very sweet, sours and stuff like that, but also the New England's got very low bitterness indeed, and this has got a very nice balanced bitterness.
Yeah, there was a point maybe like 2-3 years ago where it was just all about juicy fruit bombs, but I feel like bitterness is making a bit of a comeback, and for me personally, that's awesome. I do love a bitter beer, and this is bang on the money. This is, for me, exactly what an IPA is all about. This is just like a quintessential American-style IPA, awesome dipper, and kind of the sort of beer that got us excited about craft beer in the first place 10 years ago.
Yeah, so West Coast is where you can find breweries like Sierra Nevada, and yeah, the West Coast of America was where this kind of style was really pioneered in the late 90s. And yeah, I mean, it's great to see it coming a bit of a comeback.
Well, appearance-wise, that's like a lovely amber. Quite clear as well, that yeast has flocculated nicely. And aroma-wise, we're getting a big aroma for a start, but there's citrus, and then beyond that, nice little pineapple hits and all sorts of like tropical fruit going on.
Slightly lower carbonation, which again makes it kind of a bit more easily drinkable. Everyone says this, but like you can't really tell at the 8%. You can't really tell. The strength is hidden away. But like, what's that thing? What's that phrase? Say, it belies the strength or whatever it is.
It does belie the strength.
So this is a double IPA. Some people say DIPA. No one says IPA, but people say DIPA. Let's not get into that. The double IPA comes from the concept of like double the strength, double the amount of hops. The Belgian styles of doubles and triples kind of had that sorted out way before craft beer was even a thing, and it's kind of just followed on from there. So
key question, when does a DIPA become a tipper? Tell you what, let's go live to the field to our reporter Bobby Dennis for the answer.
Thanks, Tom. Bobby Dennis here, reporting live from my workplace. A double IPA, in my opinion, is typically double a normal IPA in terms of hops, flavour profile, alcohol. You're going to get more boozy character, you're going to get more tropical vibes from the hops. You're literally amping everything up. And then a triple IPA is amping it even further, so you're going to get a higher ABV. So a DIPA's around, in my experience, about 8% to 9%. And then a TIPA, which is even further, is around 10 or 11. And you can even get quadruple IPAs, which are absolutely bonkers, which are mental, like around 14%. So yeah, and that just amps it up even further to a point where you have to try it for yourself. It's crazy. But yeah, so what you will find with DIPAs and TIPAs, the bitterness does increase, but that's offset by even more tropical character from the hops, more fruity flavours, and even a higher boozy character, which complements DIPAs really well. And some DIPAs and TIPAs are even made so well that they actually hide the booze. So all you're getting is like a kind of tropical wonderland where you're drinking it. Oh, this tastes like a 4%, and you end up on the floor because you're too drunk. But yeah, back to the studio.
So we keep saying there's loads of hops in this beer, and we're not lying, there are. There's 4 varieties. We've got Citra, Simcoe, Columbus and Chinook. Citra and Simcoe we've probably mentioned on the line notes before. They are house hops for us. They're in rowdy, backstage, absolute bangers. But they don't diminish the quality and the presence of Columbus and Chinook. Personal favourites of mine actually, because they helped develop our early beers back in the day. Chinook was in Signature Pale, many people didn't know existed, and Columbus was in the first recipe of rowdy. Chinook is bringing that big high alpha punch to the beer, some really clean bitterness, but a lot of fruity flavours with it as well. This isn't a scientific explanation, but Columbus is bringing the dank.
Yeah, you got some real piney notes. Like, I'm always a big fan of pine. You know, takes you into the forest. Also, it's got pineapple, so pineapple is called pineapple because it's a piney apple.
Yep.
You do the maths. So I wouldn't say they've fallen out of favour recently, but like the other hops that have been bringing those kind of hoppy.
They've been taken over by the Citras and Simcoes of this world, which have just grown in prominence so much, kind of in line with that drive towards lower bitterness, big flavour that Sam was talking about earlier. But one of the things we spoke about in the early 2010s was the big C's, and that was Cascade, Columbus, Chinook, Citra as well. There are some other C's out there as well. Celia. You're probably wondering why Chinook's called Chinook. Well, it's because the hop cone is shaped like a little Chinook helicopter, and Columbus was obviously found by Christopher Columbus.
So this is the updated, fresh design for Crowdsurfer 2022. It was a great opportunity to redesign the label in our new kind of style post our rebrand in 2019. And as you can see, it's got that kind of cutout, pop art type vibe. Some great colours, but also just has someone crowdsurfing in it. You know, just straight up. It looks great. That's it. I'm not an artist. I just love it, and I think it really encapsulates what it's about. A bit of photography in there too. It's really cool. So people with sunglasses look like having a great time. I want to be inside this photo, inside this can. Inside the can.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that happen.
I've seen some crowdsurfing in the brewery, which was really cool.
The brewers just doing their work.
Yeah, our security team absolutely loving it. We don't have a crowdsurfing policy, but I think because we've made the beer now, we have to allow it. So I think we've covered everything here about Crowdsurfer. It's an incredible beer. I'm really excited for the latest release. get on our website, give us a follow on all the social media type stuff, get on our website. I've already said that again, I'll say it again. Get on the website.
Drinking it fresh, that was the most important you just said. IPAs like this need to be drank fresh, out the can, as soon as it's been packaged, so get down to the brewery. We're reinventing what it means to be a brewery here at Signature Brew, and to understand that, you need to immerse yourself in our world. Follow us on social media, head down to one of our venues and check out the crazy, wacky world that is Signature Brew and some of the awesome shit we're doing.
Yay.
Cheers.